What are friends and foes? Well, the first classification is the fallen friends. Every one of us creates fallen friends, and the purpose of those friendships in the fallen world is to make us look good. Every friendship you have right now, the expressed reason you created that friendship is to make yourself look good. Why would you do that? Because you want to be good like God. You've also created fallen foes. These are people who stand against you, who resist you. They also exist to make you look good. How do they do that? They do that by falling at your feet, by crumpling before your omnipotence, your radiance, your power, and your authority. And they make you look good by taking on the role of evil. There's a third group of people, though, and these are the resurrected friendly foes. You cannot create such an individual. Only God can come into their soul by faith and resurrect their soul, free them from the knowledge of good and evil, and allow them to play any role they want. They can be friend and they can be foe. However, they're not interested in making you look good anymore. They're not interested in making themselves look good anymore. They're not interested in playing the role of evil so that you can look good. They don't play by any of the rules. But these make the most tantalizing partners in a show. You want these individuals to be partnered with you, but you have to understand they're not interested in making you look good or being evil to make you look good. So friends and foes, though, at a larger level, you can see they exist to help you create your show. You can't have a show, this life that we live, this glorious experience of creation, you can't have that without friends and foes. You need friends and foes, but you want to have the highest quality of friend and foe. So let's look a little closer at that. How do you improve your show? How do you create together with these friends and foes? Well, the first show you've got is the Uniting Friends show. And this is when all your friends get together, you have a party, everybody's happy, everybody's looking good, everybody's smiling. This is the Uniting Friends show. And this is a corporate agreement that you will all come together and make everybody look and feel and experience the goodness of who you all are. The whole point of the show is to make you look good. But if you just stay in that show, it gets a little boring. You need some excitement. You need some resistance. So you also produce the Warring Foes show. So you have these enemies out there that you target and you create war with them. But again, it's the same purpose. They're going to fall before you at the right moment and display your goodness before the world. So both of these shows are necessary and interesting, but one without the other gets a little stale. So what you really want is the Friendly Foes show. You want your friends to also be your foes. And if you notice, in the greatest stories and movies and books, the enemies, the real sinister enemies, were originally friends with the hero. At the same time, some of the greatest friendships in those stories come from two individuals who used to be enemies. Now, what if you put those two together, though? What if you had individuals in your life who were not friends some of the time and foes other parts of the time, but both all the time? They were always simultaneously your friend and your foe. That would make for a very dynamic life, would it not? It also requires a spiritual agreement. At the soul level, you have to have a partnership that can't be broken by what you think, feel, or say. So, the spiritual partnership exists, and then you can be friendly foes together without fear of destroying your true bond at the soul level. So friendly union and warring separation are one ever-increasing show. That's what you want. You don't want to have some people that are friends and some people that are foes. You want the closest people around you to be both, and that makes a very dynamic, very exciting life to live. And that's what we're all looking for. So why then do friends and foes even exist? Sometimes friends seem great and foes seem annoying, and other times it's fun to have a foe, right? Someone to jive with and play off of. But why do these things even exist? Well, first, to show union. Friends bond together in love. We do this with personal friends. We do this with marital relationships. We bind ourselves together in a loving union, and we're showing what union is. That's not actually union. The true union happens in the Trinity. You're supposed to put on the show and display, oh, this is what I've learned from the Trinity. Display this union. Look at this show that I'm putting on to give you a picture of how I experience God Himself. Additionally, though, the foes help you show separation. You create war in the world, in the material world, as a show. It's not the real war. It's not the real separational conflict, but it's a picture. It's an exciting, glorious show of what you're experienced in the Trinity. But ultimately here we can see that union, the union of friends, and the separation of foes, that's really about displaying God. And here's where we need to draw a line. In the fallen world, our shows no longer are relevant about God. They're relevant about us. We're displaying our union and our separation. We're displaying how we're good, so we think. And we're displaying what we think is evil. And it's totally irrelevant. It's boring. The real excitement only happens once you first know God in a spiritual union of faith, your soul and Him. Then, once you know God, then you can begin to show God. But also be careful. You're not actually showing God the way He really is. You're showing your interpretation of God. The only one that can show God the way He really is God. Your job is to learn from Him, live with Him, love with Him, and then show Him in your own unique interpretation. So friendly foes, when you create these relationships in the world around you with other human beings, together you create the friendly foe show, and you whisper subtly, enticingly about the relational mysteries that you've each experienced within the Trinity. So who then is a friendly foe? Who makes the best partners to put on this exciting life, this exciting show that's truly going to attract people to come and see your interpretation of God? The first and most important thing is you want an acting creator. The most dangerous individuals to your show are the ones who aren't acting. If they actually want to be good and think that you might be evil or other people might be evil, they're living in a complete delusion. They're not good. The only person who's good is God. We're here to put on a show, an exciting personal interpretation of our relationship with God. That's what creation wants to see. That's what the world wants to see. You need actors to do that. Additionally, those actors have to be adaptive. You want to work with people that have a mastery level of everybody else's character. Because if you can't adapt to each other and move fluidly, it messes up the show. It kind of chops things up, and it's really annoying. So when you watch a movie, you like a movie that has nice seamless transitions, and you want there to be sparks in every scene, right? Well, in this world, this material world, it's supposed to be like that. Our life is supposed to be this seamless, spark-filled, exciting display. And you want it to be fluid. You need adaptive actors to do that, though. So pick your partners very carefully. But the most important thing that is the most rare element in any human being is ambition. The world always holds standards. Creation holds standards. They're saying, okay, this is what's allowed to be in your show, this is not. Okay, and they're always making barriers about it. Your job, though, as a spiritual being, is to go to God and bring your own unique free-willed interpretation into your show. And because it's a unique free-willed interpretation, it's going to break the rules. You're going to push the limits of what creation says you're allowed to do in your show. So ambition has to be at the heart of everybody you partner with. Otherwise, they're not going to want to push those limits. They say, well, we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to say that. You know, that's a little edgy. You know, when you really put on an exciting show, it takes every actor to be not just skilled, but adaptive and ambitious. They want to push the envelope based on their own unique connection with God. And when you bring all those unique connections together and you can adapt to each other's roles that you're playing, you get a very exciting show. So the friendly foe show requires ambitious, adaptive actors. And that's the type of show that we all want to be a part of and we all want to watch.